So what you're going through blows. There's just no way to sugarcoat it. This experience that you're having, whether you are graduating high school or graduating college, sucks. It's terrible. You've been looking forward to this date since you were 5 years old. My 5-year-old isn't even in school yet, and she's already talking about high school graduation. It's the one thing that all of us have in common. We all have graduation from high school as a common denominator. This is the symbolic milestone. That graduation ceremony is where you're like, I am done. I am done sitting in these classrooms. I am done listening to these teachers. You get to enjoy it with your family. You get to enjoy it with your friends. You get to talk about the memories. You get to remember this for the rest of your life. Well, maybe not, because I'm 52 and I don't even remember what high school I went to. So there's that. You're not experiencing it, and that's terrible. And if you're graduating from college, it's basically the same thing, except this time you're just a little bit smarter. You feel like you're actually more prepared for your life. Graduating college is that symbolic milestone that gets you from your education life and spending all those years, those 16 years in education, to that transition, which is I am going into the real world now. So from education to your real life. And that ceremony of going up and getting your diploma, that's important. Going up and getting your receipt for all that money that you spent in college. There's your piece of paper, there's your receipt. You probably shouldn't have been there for 7 years. And whose fault was it that you thought that Introduction to Beekeeping or the Science of the Selfie, which are real college classes, by the way, were important classes to take? That being said, I bet all the people who laughed at you when you told them that you were taking Surviving the Zombie Apocalypse aren't laughing now, are they? Who knew that that might be the most important class you can take? Nice call. I've done many commencement speeches over the last couple of years, and it is one of my favorite things to do. You walk into a space where the energy is just incredible. Everyone's excited, people are happy, everyone's all dressed up in their Sunday best. Everyone has that facial expression, that combination of a little bit of relief, a little bit of stress, a little bit of, I can't believe this is actually happening, and just a tad of, what do I do now? So I'm sorry that I can't be at your school, insert name of school here, to celebrate your graduation with you. But then I thought that shouldn't stop me from dropping some advice for you guys. Advice based on the 25 years of experience that I've had working at a number of different organizations. We have the technology to do that, so here we are. Here's the good news, is that unlike me being at your school for the commencement address, you don't have to sit there the whole time I'm speaking wondering, my God, has time stood still? Why is this person talking for 4 hours? You get to hit the stop button if you don't want to hear this. Go back to watching your TikTok feed, I get it. But for those of you who are still watching, it means that there might be a thing or two that you can pick up from listening to this. Maybe, if I do this right, something that will stay with you, stick in your head for the rest of your life. So I'm not going to go into my background, who I am, or where I come from, and all those things. There's lots of videos. I'll post some of those that talk more about my background, but I want to give you the 1-minute summary. I am a first-generation American who was born and raised in Hell's Kitchen, New York, and grew up with a single mother on welfare and food stamp back in the New York of the 70s and 80s. I have been at Google for 14 years, focused on education, and if you have used G Suite or a Chromebook in education, my team has had an impact on your educational journey. Now, if you had a terrible experience with those tools, then it was Lauren Miskelly. Hopefully that's just enough for you to understand that I might have some things to say, I might have some experiences that you can relate to. And this advice is for those of you who are graduating high school and those of you who are graduating college. The advice applies no matter what you're graduating from. But the first thing I want to do is make sure I congratulate you. You need to be congratulated. This is a huge milestone. Your family should be proud of you. You should be proud of yourself. Monumental milestone, whether you're graduating from high school or graduating from college. So let's give it up for the graduating class of 2020. Come on, you can do better than that. Come on. All right, congratulations. So the first thing I need you to consider, you can't think that you are done learning. This is not the end of your education journey. You must continuously, always be learning. I remember sitting in the computer lab in graduate school, the last 60-page paper that I typed up on my DOS machine in WordPerfect 5.1. You guys have no idea what I'm talking about, do you? And I remember hitting print on that 60-page paper, sending my paper to that dot matrix printer where it was gonna take 45 minutes to print. Again, you guys have no idea what I'm talking about. And I remember sitting there thinking, I am done. I am done learning. I never have to do this again. That wasn't true 5 years ago. 5 years ago. 5 years ago. That wasn't true 5 years ago. And it's certainly not true today. You have to look at it this way. You should never, ever be able to say, I'm not very creative. I'm not good at math. I'm not good at the stock market. Never say that. What you should say instead is, I need to be creative. I need to learn the stock market. I need to learn mathematics, whatever it is that you need to learn, because you have everything at your fingertips. The second thing I want you to consider is that you are entering a digitalized economy. And by digitalization, I mean everything that has to do with computer science, artificial intelligence, machine learning, AR, VR, automation, robotics, the whole package. Everything is being impacted by digitalization. And what you need to focus on are the human skills. You have to make sure you continuously get better at building those skills. Problem solving, collaboration, the ability to learn, critical thinking, creativity. Those are the skills that you need to continuously build. And we already talked about the ability to learn. So I want to focus on another one of those skills, problem solving. How many of you have been asked, what do you want to be when you grow up, right? This is a question that you've heard since you were a little kid. I've heard people ask my 5-year-old that question. Jobs are changing too quickly. Automation and robotics and digitalization are impacting all jobs from here on out. We can't ask that question anymore. So forget that question. It's okay that you can't answer it. The question that I really want you to think about is this. What problem do you want to solve? It doesn't have to be a social problem. It doesn't have to be solving world hunger or climate change. It can be anything. It could be making better light bulbs, making better cameras, better lights, anything. What's the problem that you want to focus on? And it's okay if you don't know, but if you don't know, you need to spend some time thinking about it. Because once you know the problem that you want to solve, then you want to ask yourself the second question. How do you want to solve that problem? How do you want to take your gifts, your talents, your passions and solve that problem? Because that question matters. There are a million ways to solve a problem. How do you want to solve it? And then the third question that you need to think about, and again, this applies to those of you who are in high school, graduating high school, or those of you graduating college. What do you need to keep mastering to solve that problem? What are the knowledge, the skills, and the abilities that you need to have to solve that problem? And how can you start building those knowledge, skills, and abilities? Because once you identify the problem that you want to solve, you work on nothing but trying to master the skills that you need to solve that problem. That's when work isn't work. That's when work is just your life. Don't ever lose sight of the fact that 70% of Americans before this pandemic were disengaged with the work that they do. Do not be one of those people. Find that problem and go solve it. And finally, the last thing I want to bring up is to have a guiding principle. Have a motto, have a statement, have something that you can write on a piece of paper or put up on a brick or put up on the wall, something that you can look at every day that represents your passion, your values, your beliefs. If you don't have one, spend some time searching for that. For me, I was lucky. I got to hear my driving principle when I was 12 years old. Every success, every accomplishment has been built upon this statement. A statement that was presented to me by a puppet in a movie. That's right. I've lived my entire life based upon what a puppet said in a movie 40 years ago. This Yoda has been sitting on my desk my entire career. No matter what job I've had, even when I was at Accenture and I would work on different project teams, I would bring this in my bag and I put it up on my desk in every job I've ever had. Because it's a daily reminder of the principle that I live my life by, which is try not. Do or do not. There is no try. I am not trying to get to 1 million subscribers. I currently do not have 1 million subscribers. I will have 1 million subscribers. I will continuously work to get to 1 million subscribers. I'm not trying, I'm gonna do it. And of course, you're gonna subscribe, right? Get all your friends to subscribe because that would be very helpful. This pushes me, it picks me up, it reminds me that whatever it is that I'm stuck on, whatever it is that I'm working on, no matter how uphill the battle looks, I'm gonna do it. So what's your thing? What's the thing that you hold sacred, that belief that you will fight for? If you don't have one, spend time thinking about it. And that's it. That's all I got. That's what I would have come to your school, insert name here, and what I would have said to you if I had a chance to see you live and in person. I'm sorry that you didn't get the chance to experience your graduation the way everyone else has. You absolutely have been robbed of that. But I know it is not going to define you. It is not going to determine your future. You get to define you. You get to tell your story. You get to drive your accomplishments and your success. And I know it seems like you are entering a crazy world and everything's uncertain and challenging and up in the air, but you gotta be glass half full. You gotta think about the opportunity that you have in front of you. Instead of taking that job that no longer exists, maybe this is a great time for you to follow your passion, to do the thing that you wanted to do. Go do that. So I ask all of you, I beg all of you, to think about the problem that you want to solve, spend time thinking about how you want to solve it, and then just go solve it. Look, I don't know if this was a good idea. This was just something I felt like I needed to do. It's my way that I can contribute to what everyone is going through. It's what I do commencement speeches, so I figured I would just do a commencement speech for everyone. And if you got something out of this, let me know. Put it down in the comments. And if this sucked and you hated it and you got nothing out of it, I'll leave a couple of links in the description to really good commencement speeches by like Oprah and Steve Jobs. I'll find them and I'll put them in the description. And 20 years from now, you'll either remember something that stuck with you that I said, or you'll just think that Steve Jobs spoke at your graduation. It's a win-win for you. Thank you very much for listening. I wish you nothing but joy and success in your life. Really? That's what I get?